Maybe you've been watching videos like this for a long time. Words like awareness, consciousness, the self, you've heard them again and again, and still, something feels unfinished. Not wrong exactly, just unresolved. You may have meditated, observed your thoughts, watched sensations come and go, tried to stay present, tried to be the witness, and yet there's this subtle feeling that you're still doing something, still trying to arrive somewhere. Today, there's no need to arrive, no need to understand anything new, nothing here to remember later. We're simply going to look at something very quietly, something you may already be doing, without noticing it. A seeker once came to Ramana Maharshi with a very sincere question, not a philosophical one, a tired one. "I've been practicing self-inquiry," he said. "I ask, who am I? I watch my thoughts. I try to stay as the observer, but it still feels like effort, like I'm chasing something that keeps slipping away." He wasn't confused because he lacked understanding. He was confused because he had too much of it. This is where many intelligent minds get stuck. They don't doubt the teaching. They doubt themselves. They think, "I must not be doing it correctly." Ramana Maharshi never treated self-inquiry as a technique. He didn't present it as a method to master or a state to reach. Self-inquiry is not repeating the question, "Who am I?" It's not monitoring thoughts all day. It's not holding attention in a particular way. And it's not an experience. Experiences come and go. Calm comes and leaves. Silence appears and fades. Clarity arises and dissolves. Anything that comes and goes cannot be what you are. If self-inquiry feels like effort, that effort is already being observed, and whatever is observed cannot be you. Microhistoria. There was a moment someone once described very clearly. It was late at night. The house was quiet. The lights were off. They were sitting on the bed, trying to observe their thoughts, watching carefully, making sure they didn't get lost in them. Each time a thought appeared, there was a small sense of success. I saw it. Good. I'm doing it right. But a few seconds later, another thought appeared, and then another, and slowly, something else appeared too. Tension, a tightness in the chest, a subtle pressure in the head. The more carefully they observed, the more effort crept in. At some point, frustration arose. This shouldn't be this hard, they thought. I've heard this teaching so many times, and in that moment, not as an insight, not as a realization, but simply as honesty, there was a quiet noticing. Even the effort to observe was being noticed. The tension was seen. The frustration was seen. The sense of me trying to do this correctly was seen. And for just a moment, there was nothing to fix. Not because it was resolved, but because it was no longer being managed. That moment didn't last. It never does. But something subtle was recognized. Instead of trying to do inquiry, notice something simpler. Right now, a thought may arise. Maybe a memory, maybe a sound in the room. You don't create these appearances. They simply show up. And yet, they are known. There is an effortless knowing of what appears. That knowing does not strain. It does not concentrate. It does not improve with practice. It is already functioning, even now. Self-inquiry is not about sharpening attention. It's about noticing where attention already appears. Imagine space. Objects appear in it. Furniture, walls, movement. But space itself never moves. You don't need to hold space in place. You don't need to maintain it. It doesn't get tired of containing things. Thoughts are like objects. Sensations are like movement. Emotions are like weather. And awareness is the space. Space doesn't look at objects. Objects appear in space. In the same way, awareness is not something you use to observe. Everything appears in it. Many teachings stop at be the observer. But Ramana went further. He asked, who is the observer? If you say, I am watching my thoughts, then something is watching that watcher. If you say, I am the witness, then who is aware of the witness? The observer itself is an appearance, subtle, refined, but still seen. And what is seen cannot be the seer. This is where effort collapses, not because you tried harder, but because the structure trying to observe itself is exposed. At some point, it becomes obvious. You cannot find yourself as an object. You cannot arrive at yourself. You cannot observe what has no form. The search assumes distance, but there is no distance. You are not in awareness. Awareness is not in you. There is simply awareness. The moment this is seen, seeking loosens on its own, not dramatically, quietly, like realizing you are holding your breath for no reason. So what remains? Not a technique, not a rule, not a lifestyle, just a gentle noticing that whatever appears effortlessly. Thoughts come, thoughts go. The sense of me comes. The sense of me goes. And what remains has never moved. Self-inquiry ends not with an answer, but with the disappearance of the questioner. There's nothing to hold on to from this, nothing to repeat tomorrow. Tonight, you don't need to fix the mind, or silence it, or understand it. Whatever is happening is already happening in awareness, and awareness doesn't need your help. Perhaps that's enough for now. Perhaps that's always been enough. You don't have to stay with these words. You can let them fade. What remains will remain, without effort. If this silence resonated with you, consider subscribing to continue this journey with us. What remains, stays. Feel free to share your experience in the comments.